Hey guys, welcome back to the biggest agricultural platform in Namibia known as Ndunawe Ngombe, which means headman of cattle. My name of course is Mitchell Mutumba Simata, aka the headman of cattle. Today, I would love to speak about the cultivar. As we said, weekends are cultivar days. So today I'd love to speak about a cultivar probably many of us are familiar with, maybe not really that familiar, but we have been told it is the crop of the future, which is sorghum. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video on sorghum. As you guys know, I'm never writing solo. I got my trusted notebook with me. Let's get into this. Sorghum is truly a versatile crop that can be grown as a grain, a forager, or sweet crop. Sorghum is one of the top 5 cereal crops in the world. The United States is the world's largest producer of grain sorghum, having produced about 373 million tons of sorghum in 2020. Sorghum is amongst the most effective crop in the conversion of solar energy and the use of water, and is known as a high-energy, drought-tolerant crop that is environmentally friendly. So that's how it's known. Uses solar energy, meaning probably sun rays better, saves water, does not waste so much water, and is environmentally friendly to grow. Due to sorghum's wide use and adaptation, sorghum is one of the real indispensable crops required for survival of humankind. Grain sorghum, which is the first type. Grain sorghum can take many shapes and sizes, from a tight head, a round panicle, to an open drop panicle that can be short or tall. There are various types of sorghum, including red, orange, bronze, tan, white, and black colored sorghum. Red, orange, or bronze sorghum is traditionally grown and is used in all segments of sorghum industry. The tan, cream, and white colored sorghum variant are typically made into flour for the food industry, while the black and burgundy variant contains beneficial antioxidant properties that are utilized in other food applications. So there is grain sorghum and its different the type of sorghums. They got different colors. There's orange, there's red, there's orange, there's bronze, there's tan, there's white. There is black colored sorghum. So that's 6 that I mentioned. But beside that, there are many others. Tan, cream, and so forth, and burgundy color, which is now the one that is used. The black and the burgundy variant is the one which contains beneficial antioxidants that is actually beneficial to human beings. So let's continue to the second type of sorghum, which is the forage sorghum. Depending on which species and variant is selected, sorghum can be used for grazing pastures, hay production, and silga and green crops. Forage sorghum typically grows 8 to 15 feet tall and is most popular for use as silga for feeding livestock. So that's what you can utilize forage sorghum for. You can utilize it as chops to feed livestock. So during droughts, you can actually plant some sorghum, forage sorghum, and then harvest the entire bush and actually use that product to produce feeds for your livestock during a difficult drought time. Then we have biomass sorghum, which is now the third type of sorghum. Biomass sorghum has the largest structure of all sorghum varieties, reaching a height of about 20 feet in a normal growing season. Biomass sorghum has been bred to produce a large amount of non-grain biomass. These hybrids are used primarily for the production of bioenergy. So the biomass one is utilized for bioenergy. As we know, we're trying to set the world up to go into green energy. So the biomass one, that's the one that is used for bioenergy. Then we have the fourth type of sorghum, which is the sweet sorghum. Sweet sorghum is predominantly grown for sorghum syrup. Unlike grain sorghum, sweet sorghum is harvested for the stalk rather than the grain and is crushed like sugarcane or beets, sweet beets, to produce a syrup. Sweet sorghum was once the predominant table sweetener in the USA. Today, sweet sorghum is used as a healthy alternative sweetener to produce whiskey and rum type products and for biofuel and chemical production. So that's what sweet sorghum does. I think sweet sorghum, I have eaten it. In my mother tongue, which is now Chifwe / Subia, we say inswe. That's the one that my dad will always come with from Katima and eat the stem. Most people call it traditional sugarcane, but I refute, and thanks to the research, I refute that. It's not traditional sugarcane, it's sweet sorghum that we're busy eating. They say inswe, but that's what it is. How is sorghum used? So those are, before I move to how is sorghum used, we have it's four types of sorghum. Sweet sorghum, biomass, forager, and grain sorghum. And then they have their different varieties within the one. But the forager and the biomass don't really produce grains. Those were developed, the forager was mostly developed to produce livestock feeds. The biomass was usually developed to have a very wide stem and is mostly used to produce bioenergy. So sorghum is a crop that is very versatile in whatever it's utilized for. Then how is sorghum used? In the United States and other countries around the globe, sorghum grain is primarily used for livestock feed and ethanol production, but it is becoming popular in the consumer food industry and other emerging markets. The livestock industry is one of the largest standing marketplace for sorghum in the US of A. In the livestock industry, sorghum is utilized in feed rations for poultry, beef, dairy, and swine. Stems and foliage are also used for green chops, hay, and silga and pasture. So that's how sorghum is a versatile type of crop. Traditionally, nearly 1/3 of the US sorghum crop is used for renewable energy production. In fact, sorghum produces the same amount of ethanol per stomp as compared to feed stocks, while using up to 1/3 of less water. So the one thing of sorghum is it's drought resistant and it does utilize less water compared to other crops. Compared to maize, they did a research. They said sorghum uses half the amount of water maize needs in order for it to grow. So it's a crop that can be planted in dry regions, in dry areas, and it can be used to produce ethanol. It produces more ethanol per storm than any other feedstock. So sorghum dominates in that race. Sorghum exports have represented a large portion of the US sorghum marketplace. Over the last few years, international sorghum consumers have included Mexico, China, and Japan, and many other countries. So if you're trying to get into the sorghum market, you could have opportunities in Mexico, China, and Japan, and other countries that probably use grain sorghum to produce food, such as I've seen Botswana eats sorghum porridge. I tried it once. I wasn't really impressed. I prefer to eat pearl millet. Yeah, pearl millet, which we call mango and white maize. Maybe it's got a distinct taste. Yeah, I think it takes time to get used to. Once I get used to it and the texture, maybe we can play. But now it's not really my favorite. But I'll give it another shot. I'll give it another shot and see how it works. Sorghum is typically used for animal feeds within these countries, but other opportunities in the consumer food industry as well as ethanol production are arising. So previously it was just used for livestock feeds, but the food industry is starting to catch up on to sorghum. As I mentioned, the black and the burgundy type of sorghum has antioxidants, and which is very health beneficial for a person. So it's starting to enter other spaces probably where it wasn't in recent times, because I believe in the past it was eaten. I'm sure they ate it as just a porridge. Consumer food industry is a growing marketplace for sorghum, with so many health benefits packed in every delicious grain. Consumers are finding creative ways to use sorghum in recipes for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even snacks. Plus, sorghum grain can be cooked using a stovetop, slow cooker or oven, or a rice cooker to add a new twist to favorite recipes. As a result, sorghum now can be found in more than 350 production lines in the USA alone. So they're finding different ways to utilize it. Sorghum is also used for new and expanding markets, such as building material, fencing, floral arrangements, and pet food, brooms, and more. Sorghum's versatility gives it the flexibility to reach beyond traditional marketplaces, further enhancing the producer's portfolio profitability. So that's the other things you can utilize it for. Besides just producing foodstuffs, you can actually utilize it to make fences and floral arrangements and pet foods. Maybe dropper. Maybe use it as a dropper in fences. I don't know how strong it will be, but hey, it can surprise us. Now we go to the history of sorghum. The original and early domestication of sorghum took place in northern Africa. The earliest known record of sorghum comes from archaeologists dig at Nab the Playa near the Egyptian and Sudanese border, dated 8000 BC. Sorghum spread through Africa and along the way adapted to a wider range of environments, from the highlands of Ethiopia to the semi-arid Sahel, not Sahara, but the Sahel. The development and spread of 5 different races of sorghum can in many cases be attributed to the movement of various tribes and groups in Africa. Sorghum then spread to India, China, and eventually worked its way into Australia. The first known record for sorghum in the United States comes from Ben Franklin in 1757, who wrote about its application in producing brooms. So it can be used to produce brooms. So that's the history of sorghum. Do I have any experience farming or working with sorghum? Not really. Like I said, I've eaten sweet sorghum, the stem. But my people always say it's traditional sugarcane. But right now, thanks to the research that I did, the qualitative research that I did, I can actually refute that and tell them it is not a sweet form of sugarcane. I can refute that and say it's not a sweet traditional sugarcane. It's actually sorghum. And most of us just grew up calling it traditional sugarcane. I think you learn everything. And that's the fun part of agriculture, is the fact that you learn about a crop that you might not eat, but as they say, sorghum could be the crop of the future. And it's very versatile. Maybe in the next 5 to 6 years, I might start eating sorghum because it produces less water. I mean, it requires less water to grow. It could become probably the crop of the future, less water than maize. And we could start seeing probably more flowers, porridge type of flowers, ready-made porridges. They just require you to pour water to have sorghum. I see our neighboring country, Botswana. I've seen Botswana, they do eat sorghum porridge and different sorghum products. But myself, I eat pearl millet and white maize. The yellow maize, not really that much. But that's just my personal preference. But as I said, it could be just my bias. Maybe in the near future, I could be eating sorghum porridge and give you guys a review on it. But before I end this video, I just want to ask you guys to do me 2 favors once again. If you enjoyed the information that I put on this video, give me a huge thumbs up and hit that subscription button and turn on the bell notification to be notified of future uploads, and share the video so we get the subscription base up. It's actually growing very healthy. We need to get it a bit further. But and thank you very much to those that have subscribed and actually watched the videos. That helps a lot. And those who are in the comment section, I'm always reading the comment section and responding to you guys in time and not taking too long. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say have yourself a very good Friday. Bye for now.